that's because they're just paying you less. It's just like, that's it. And if we were mandated to do, more vacation time or more sick pay, that would just affect how many people we have to hire, which would affect our payroll budget. That's just all there is to it. So when we implemented ours to respond to the coronavirus, that was in addition to the fair wages that we already pay people, where that was not factored in. So I don't know. I get a little bit sensitive about these things sometimes because there seems to be this perception that Linus Media Group is some kind of like cheapskate employer or whatever, because I think some of it comes from us being very startup at the beginning and just not having any money at the beginning. But I don't know if you've noticed, I've even had people post like YouTube comments and tweets saying, just look at how horrible their turnover is. Why don't you actually look at our turnover? The vast majority, like by a ratio of 4 to 1 or something like that, the vast majority of the people who have ever worked for Linus Media Group still work for Linus Media Group. Like almost all of them. So yeah, why don't you look at our turnover rate? Anyway, yeah, Nick, go ahead and pitch me a crazy idea, sir. What do you got for me?
Right. Am I off speaker?
No, you're on speaker. I'm
Take me off speaker?
I'm willing to be the bad guy. You know what? That's kind of like that's my role. That's my typecast. All right.
Given, I don't know if you saw the email I sent earlier, but we have some potential budget available for another shipping promo. Do you want to do like a free shipping discount code if you're watching the stream right now, and then we'll close it in like 2 hours or something?
Free shipping.
Yeah, why not?
To where?
Anywhere, why not?
Wow, you were right. I was going to have to be the bad guy if I said no, now that you've said that. 1 hour.
I told you 3 times to take me off speaker.
Okay, 1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour.
I can set it up right now, and then I'll say.
Okay, all right. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Can you tell Can you tell one of this guy's KPIs is to sell more on lttstore.com? Call me during his stream. I'm putting that in his 6-month review. Put me on the spot like that. He's gonna blame it on me now. Anyway, let's go ahead and run the wires that we're gonna need for our. Actually, you know what? No, let's leave the graphics card for later. We do need these ones though. So here's our 8 pins for the motherboard. Those are. Let me just have a look here. Oh, those are actually in kind of an unconventional spot on this board. So they're on the top right edge, which means they actually need to come up here instead of up here, which is where they would usually come up. Okay, well that's no problem. We can work around that. That just means that, yes, these 2 8 pins are going to come up here first. Free shipping to anywhere. I know that he knows that shipping to certain places like Australia or whatever, it's like our cost is in the tens of dollars. Like we have better shipping rates now than we used to by a long shot, but they're still like, fuel costs money, and shipping is not cheap right now in the current climate. Fire Native says, hey Linus, remember when your old boss said, let's sell 1 million in a day? And you said, look, do you want profit or do you want gross revenue? Yeah, that's basically the kind of moment I'm having right now. Is I have always believed that businesses should operate profitably first, and then you sort everything else out later. Oh, funny story, actually. So that was a story that I had told, I think, on one of these previous streams, or it might have been when I was streaming Beat Saber or something. My old boss was like, okay, I have a goal for you guys. He always used to set these sort of like ridiculous / unrealistic goals. If the product management team does $1 million in a single day in sales, everyone will get, I forget what the amount was. It was like a $1,000 bonus or $2,000 bonus or something like that. Like some not entirely insignificant sum of money was promised. And the funny thing is, like, a year and a half went by, like some very significant amount of time went by, and we actually did it. We did it it was on Boxing Day or on Black Friday or something like that. And we brought it up. We were like, hey, so where is it? And he's like, well, that doesn't count. Because it was like on Black Friday, or it was like, because we spent a lot of budget on loss leading products. And we were like, oh, that's funny because, we don't remember you mentioning that particular little caveat. And also, we couldn't help noticing that you were the one who set the loss leading budget for this event. So that's not really our fault now, is it? Anyway. I mean, this was the kind of company where like they couldn't even tell if they were making or losing money anyway. So like maybe they, maybe they were losing a lot more money than we thought. Like the P&L reports were not correct anyhow. So yeah, people are saying illegal, but like, there was no contract or anything like that. Oh, this is funny. I just got an offer to acquire Linus Media Group. How about that? Offers, whatever. Focus something, technology. Would you be open to discussing a potential? So you know what's funny is I was actually someone that I know, and I will be giving no indication beyond that because I don't want there to be any hints as to who it is. But someone that I know, I shouldn't say someone. I know multiple people in the YouTube space who have had offers to acquire their channels. And not because I have any interest in selling, nothing's impossible, but at this stage in the game, like, I'm young, I'm passionate, I'm having fun, like, this is the best job in the world, and I'm still, like, I'm not, I went through my whole thing recently where I was thinking about retiring, and whatever that would look like, whatever an exit strategy might look like, I had thought through those scenarios, but if you watched through to the end of that stream, you would have gotten to the part where I come to the conclusion that I'm not ready and that I've still got a lot of tech videos to make. But anyway, I have to admit that there are times when I have a bit of an inferiority complex because, I feel like we work really hard for everything that we've achieved at Linus Media Group, whether it's reaching a subscriber milestone or the moment when we finally got a YouTube representative who's not a peon level YouTube representative. We have a fantastic YouTube rep now. Like we are treated pretty well for the most part. But I've always had kind of an inferiority complex because some of these things feel like they've taken a lot longer for us than they have for smaller channels, but in sexier verticals than tech, or like that have like a more coolness factor, where there's almost like this bias because we're nerds, where there's this assumption that even though the army of Linus Tech Tips followers is literally 10 million strong, that it's like a niche and doesn't matter. And so, as much as I will always hear out a reasonable business opportunity, but I'm not really interested in selling. And as much as I'm not really interested in selling the business, it feels good. Feels good. That's the first time anyone has made an offer to buy Linus Media Group, which, again, surprises me because some of the ones that I know who have gotten offers, I know enough about their financials to know that Linus Media Group would be a much, much more sound investment. That's another thing that really kind of grinds my gears when people speculate about it, is how irresponsibly I run the business, hiring so many people just to make YouTube videos, and like we've been operating at a loss for years and we don't pay people enough and blah, 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 blah. Linus Media Group is perfectly profitable. That's my background, is business. My background is not making videos. I mean, like, look at this. Look at this camera angle. Look at this camera angle. Does this look like the camera angle of someone who has a background making videos? Okay, we can probably fix that, but let's fix that. Oh my goodness, I can't see. I didn't see. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. There we go. All right, let's fix that. There we go. We'll go a little bit wider on this one. Let's get that in focus. There. And just because my background's in business doesn't mean that I'm not like, passionate about technology and passionate about making videos. Like those things didn't happen by accident. It just means that like I run it very responsibly. And of course, by we, I definitely mean us. I always do that. I always tend to do that. I have like frontman like band syndrome sometimes, and I had a few people kind of respectfully bring it up to me. It's like, you say I a lot. I'm like, yes, I do tend to do that. And just like it makes the other band members salty, no one said it in a way that like they feel disrespected or they feel like I don't give them credit for their work or anything like that. They've said like, look, you also say we a lot and you also make a point of shouting people out a lot. I'm just saying that that's something you should probably watch. And I'm like, yep, duly noted. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for bringing it up to me, and I'll try and do better, right? Okay, let's go ahead and get this motherboard popped in here. Like, isn't this case nice when it comes to cable management? Like, it's just all basically pre-done for you. That took me no time whatsoever. Love it. Okay, here we go. So I've got a built-in I/O shield, which means that's pretty straightforward. Ooh, okay, they did make one mistake in their pre-done cable management. You can see there's a cable running across the I/O cutout back here. That is cable managed so tight at the back and cable tied so tight that I don't have enough slack to actually install a motherboard. So that's one thing Fantex could improve about this case so far. Other than that, they're doing pretty well. All right, let's throw this in here. Oh, snap. This motherboard is so wide that I might not be able to use the openings that I had decided on here. All right, well, we're gonna find that out. No way, they move! I love it! Oh, that's cool. That is so cool. Oh, you guys couldn't really see what I was doing. Look at this. These things, they shove back and forth. Love it. That's a cool feature. I'm into it. Oh, shoot. I didn't do my peel. Schwamp. Oh, so unsatisfying. Broken peel. Oh, broken again. ASUS, step up your game. Step up your game. JK, love you, ASUS. Thanks for the motherboard. Okay, here we go. Can he line it up? Oh, shoot. That's a feature I thought Fantex had in their cases, but it looks like they might not. The little nubbin on the middle motherboard standoff that'll hold the motherboard in place for you while you're positioning it. I know Corsair has it, NZXT has it. I really thought Fantex had it too. Oh wait, yeah, they do. It's just a smaller, like mini nubbin. Okay. Yeah, that should be good enough. This is a super heavy board. Also, we have a small mistake in the build that I'm going to have to go back and rectify. There's one extra standoff. So they've got a standoff pre-installed right here that I actually don't need. Oh, and that happens to be another nubbin one, so that's probably why I was having such a hard time installing the board. Okay, this doesn't count because I'm not actually screwing anything. I'm just using it as a hex wrench thing. I am removing this standoff with my iFixit kit. And I will throw that in my handy dandy screw tray. Doesn't count. Wait, what is this? There we go. All right, cool. Let's try that one more time. Ugh. Man, like with that back plate on there and all that copper hanging off the CPU socket, this thing is freaking heavy. It's heavy, man. It's like, it's heavy stuff, It's like a heavy conversation. Oh, no. I don't want to get fingerprints on the top of the heatsink. There we go. Is that in? Am I in? Okay, we're going this corner first. Oh boy, nope. We're going something that's lined up a little better first. We're going with the nubbin one first. As long as the nubbin one doesn't fall off, we good. Let's try my other angle here. Yeah, that's not a great spot for that, is it? All right, that should be a little bit better. I think I've got the apertures open enough that it should still be mostly in focus over here. All right, I was gonna get, see, the thing about floatplane chat is it's hard for me to just like randomly look over at them and respond to them because most of the time they're just like talking tech in the comments or in the chat, like kind of nothing to do with what I'm building or anything like that. They're just a bunch of tech nerds, you know. Deed Alchemy is like, yeah, I made an eGPU setup before the lockdown. Best investment I made in a long time. Being able to quickly transition between my work laptop and personal laptop was a godsend. It's like, yeah, that's cool. Nothing to do with what we're doing here, but like, hey, that's fine. And yeah, that is a great use case for an eGPU. That portability is very, very cool. I actually, before Nicholas completed the IKEA desk PC that I did the video about, I guess a week or so ago, I was thinking of just using an eGPU and laptop for my son's gaming setup. So he's getting to the age where he wants to start gaming and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, okay, as long as it's not too much, I think we can make that work. So yeah, I was just going to go that route, just because what's nice is that then, you know, when life goes back to normal and I'm traveling, I can take the eGPU with me on trips and stuff too. And then I can take a Rift S. So that's my new travel setup that I'm actually super excited about. Is I'm going to figure out a nice efficient way to pack a Rift S and an eGPU into my like my carry-on, my roller bag, and then I'll just have my laptop in my backpack, and I'll be able to like game in VR in a hotel room, play my Beat Saber, stream Beat Saber while I'm on the road and stuff. Obviously, that's a problem that I don't have right now, but it's one that I'm, you know, busy beavering away, working on the solution for, you know, again, when things get back to normal. All right, let's go ahead and get our motherboard cables plugged in. Man, this has been an easy build so far. I'm afraid to jinx it. So the 24 pin, it looks like I managed to cable manage that just right. So I'm just gonna bend that over there and pop that in. Here's our 8 pins. So this one goes into the longer of the two. Oh yeah, okay, I didn't quite cable manage those right. It would have been better if I had the longer one on top from an aesthetic standpoint. You know what? Should I fix it? Yeah, this is a pretty easy fix. So I'm gonna do it right. Let's see, is this one long enough to reach? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shorten this one. So when you've got two cables coming one over top of the other like this, here, I'll get you guys a look at that. You want to have the longer one over top so that the bottom one just kind of follows the inner curvature of the top one. So all we need to do is shorten this one a little bit. See, it's such an easy fix that there's just no excuse for not doing it. There we go. So now we just end up with a little bit more slack in the bottom, but it's going to look really nice and clean at the top. All right, there we go. So we'll pop that in. And this build is looking fantastic. Actually hadn't really given any thought to case cooling. It looks like Fantex has got a pretty good loadout in this thing. So two 140 mils in the front. And is that, yeah, it's another 140 mil in the back. That should be lots for what we're doing in here. If we were running two 2080 Ti's, I might want a little bit more cooling for the case